gosh, my name is Krista Anderson, and today I am using GoFoods as the base of the meal that I'm going to be making, and I'm going to show you how you can use these incredible GoFoods soups and entrees to save money, to make money, and to save yourself some time. So I have with me the Western potato chowder. This happens to be one of my favorite soups. The reason it's one of my favorites is because there's so much that you can do with it. It's perfect as a base, just as it is, but you can also add to it. Now I have a big family meaning lots and lots of kids, and I need to make my food stretch, and we have to make our budget stretch. So if we can save a little bit of money on our food, we're really grateful for that. I have my water boiling. On the back of the package, it will tell me exactly what I'm supposed to be doing. It says that I need to bring 4.5 cups of water to a boil, and then I'm going to whisk in these contents. I'm going to add some things because I am doing clam chowder. So I have some onions that I've already diced, and then I've got some celery that I'm going to cut up, and I'm going to be adding this celery and some butter with the onions, and I'm going to saute that up, and then I'm going to add that into the soup. At the end, I'll be adding a can of clams, and this will make some amazing clam chowder. And if you're thinking, well, how much money would it cost if I were to go to a restaurant and get clam chowder for 6 people? I don't know, probably quite a bit. We are able to do this clam chowder for 6 people for under $10. My objective is to have the food made within 20 minutes. And the reason is we all lead these incredibly busy lives. And I know for me as a mom, as a business owner with longevity and GoFoods, I am always looking for ways that I can save time. I fell in love with this food because I was finding myself going out to eat a lot, taking my family out for fast food, and we were spending so much money. So I decided that, gosh, if I could find a way to save time and save money and eat better, then why not do it? So I'm just going to add some butter to this pan. We'll get those vegetables sauteed up. And while that's melting, let me tell you how incredibly nutritious this food is and the great quality. All of this food comes with the Nutriversal seal of approval. And on the back of every package, you're going to find these icons. And these icons tell you just how great this food is. So a couple of them that are the most important to me are that all of the food is trans fat free. No hydrogenated oils, no trans fats. It's natural. This happens to be a gluten-free item, and we've got a lot of gluten-free food. It has no added MSG. It's vegetarian. It has balanced sodium, and it's not genetically modified. Genetic modification scares me a little bit when it comes to food, and it's hard to find food that's not genetically modified because it doesn't have to be labeled as genetically modified. It's kind of like Frankenfoods. You never really know what's in it, and there's no real studies that show what the long-term effects of genetic modified food is going to be. So we would rather just avoid it altogether. All of these entrees and soups and bakery items that GoFoods has, they're all non-genetically modified. All right, well, that butter's melted, so I'm just gonna add some onions and some celery, and I'm gonna let those saute for just a couple of minutes until they're soft. And then I'm gonna add them to the soup. If you're thinking about what you normally do for dinner, let's say you get home from a busy day with family or from work, and you're thinking about what am I going to make for dinner, and maybe you didn't plan for the day, kind of like what I do most of the time is not plan for dinner, and you decide I'm going to run out and I'm going to pick up some fast food. Well, you could do that. It's probably going to take you longer to go pick up the fast food and get back in the amount of time it would have taken you to make one of these meals. Now, it is well known, it's proven that fast food meals or even restaurant foods are a lot higher in fat and they're a lot higher in calories than what you're going to get eating at home. And a GoFoods meal is going to give you balanced nutrition, and it's going to give you no genetically modified organisms, no trans fats, no hydrogenated oils. You can pick all these great gluten-free items, and it's so cost effective. So like I said, I'm going to feed my whole family, more than 6 people, for under $10. As I use this food, just like I said, I could make this just as it is, and it's delicious. Or I can add some things to it because I like to have variety, And you can kind of follow us on social media and see all the different recipes that we have. But there are so many things that you can do with this food to add variety that you could have something different every single night if you wanted to. And it's so easy to make. Now this is only going to take, 20 minutes to prepare. It smells so good. The Western potato chowder, it's got vegetables in it. It's a cream base. It's thick and hearty when it's all done cooking. I'm just going to let it simmer, and I'm going to be cooking these. Now as a mom, I'm always concerned about making sure that my family eats good food. And that could mean today, and it could mean in times of a crisis. We never know what's going to happen. Things are unpredictable, whether it's the weather, the economy. It could be just about anything. I always pay attention to what happens on Black Friday at some of the box stores and the way that people behave at those box stores. And I think, what if that were food that people were trying to get instead of electronics and the discounts that maybe they're getting on Black Friday? I don't want to be one of those people who is trying to feed my family if the store shelves are empty. GoFoods have a 25-year shelf life, and you can pack these little packets of food. These feed 4 people. Food's one of our greatest dependencies, and you always are going to need food. There's not a single person that doesn't need food. GoFoods is a great way to go because it's less expensive than other foods that you're going to pick up at the grocery store. It's storable, it tastes good, and as I've mentioned, it's incredibly nutritious. Now, Dr. Wallach has talked for a long time about genetically modified food and cleaning up the diet, not eating trans fats or hydrogenated oils. And sometimes that's really hard to do because the packaged foods and the processed foods that we're all so exposed to and the convenience factor in our lives, it's hard to find food like that. But now it's not hard. Now you have GoFoods that pairs perfectly with your longevity products and the 90 for life. And if you're looking to have a great healthy lifestyle, now you have your food and your nutritional supplements that are going to create that lifestyle. Something else you might have noticed is that the cost of food has been going up. And I did a little bit of research to find out what really is happening with the cost of our food. What's the percentage of how it's gone up? There's a survey done every month to determine how much money are people spending on food. And the survey showed that the average American family is spending about $1,039 every single month to eat. And that does not include the food that they are getting eating out or the grab and go convenience foods that they're getting when they don't eat at home. Now I'm just adding these vegetables to this, and I'm going to add a little pepper too. Okay. The cost of food and the rise of the cost of the food is not going to stop. There's problems with farms, we have inclement weather, we're having problems with droughts, and the food costs are only going to continue to go up. So you can expect that the food that you buy today, if you're able to store it, is a little bit like hedging against inflation. And you are able to consider this food as somewhat of an investment, which I think is fantastic. It's always going to be valuable. You're going to be able to use it not only to take care of your own family and to have peace of mind, but you might be able to use it for other things too, like barter or trade if you needed to. The items that I'm using in the meal today are just things that I had on hand. All of us waste food. I am so guilty of buying produce with all kinds of good intentions, and then I throw half of it away because I didn't use it, I didn't plan for it, and then at the end of the week, it's not looking the way it's supposed to, so it gets thrown out. So I have discovered that if I use this food along with things that I have on hand, not only am I saving money, but I'm able to eat better, and I'm using the things that we have purchased. So the celery, the onions I had on hand, the clams I had on hand, and I had the butter. And I'm making this great, incredible soup. If you want to pair it with maybe a side salad, that's a great way to go as well. I like to look for seasonal vegetables as well. And we have a garden at our home, so I like to include things from our family garden that I'm able to use. Things that might be on sale. When it comes to the waste of food, across the board, the supermarkets are wasting food, families are wasting food, and this is a great opportunity for you to use the things that you have in your home and use the things that you have on hand. Right now I am just kind of whisking this food. The reason I'm doing that is because I don't want anything to stick to the bottom, and I have the heat on medium and keeping it hot. Because GoFoods are dehydrated, the water that I added when we did the boiling water, the purpose of that was to rehydrate the vegetables and the potatoes and the cream that's in this soup. And so I don't want it to stick to the bottom. You don't need to stir it continually. You just need to stir occasionally. And you could even cover it if you want it to thicken up faster. You can also play with the water a little bit if you like something a little bit thinner or a little bit thicker. You can add more or less water. And the fun thing is you can play with this. This food is fun to play with, and you can make your own recipes. You can add your own style to this. And on the back of every package, there's even some recipe or suggestions of things that you could do or things that it goes great with. Being that this food is vegetarian, if you want to add a protein or if you want to add a meat to this food, you certainly can. This package happens to say that if you want some additional flavor, add some butter to this. I love adding, this happens to be the cheddar broccoli soup. I love just adding fresh broccoli to this. It's really, really good. So you can just take and make up this soup. It already has broccoli in it, but I like adding some florets to it, broccoli florets, and it just adds that much more volume and gives you more of the vegetables that you need anyway. The 90 for Life nutrients are obviously the core of longevity, and being able to take the food that we have at GoFoods and pair it with the nutrients in the 90 for Life, really, well, it makes a well-rounded lifestyle for you. Whether you're looking for great health or maybe you're looking to feel better or look better, this is the way that you're going to do it. Now you have your food and you have your supplements, and you're going to be able to have the healthy lifestyle that Dr. Wallach has told you that you need to have. This is almost done, and I'm going to add the clams now because the clams can get tough if you cook them for too long. So I like to add them right at the end. So we're just going to open this up, and I'm going to add it with the juice because that adds some of the flavor to the clam chowder. In addition to the clams, we'll cook it for just maybe a couple of minutes after that to heat it through, and then this will be ready to eat. I wish you could smell how good this smells. This is really some of the best clam chowder that you could ever have at any restaurant or anywhere else. And I have had clam chowder all over the country. This is the clam chowder that I love best, and especially going into winter months when it's getting cold, this is really fantastic. Okay, so I'm just going to stir that in and let that cook for just a couple of minutes, and those clams will get nice and hot. And while that's heating up, let me tell you how much money I'm saving by using this food. The reason why I fell in love with GoFoods is because I found a way that as a mom I could prepare healthier, better meals faster than going to the store, and that if I incorporated these meals into my regular diet and into my family's meal plan, that our family would save money. Now, I said that the average family spends $1,039 a month on food, and when I tell people that, sometimes they're surprised and they say, there's no way we spend that much money. But I challenge people, keep track of your receipts and you'll be shocked at how much money you do spend. We decided that we were going to do that. We kept track of our receipts, and we were shocked at how much money we were spending on food. I was mortified that we were spending far more than I ever imagined that we were spending. And I decided, you know what? I'm going to use GoFoods 25% of the time. With breakfast, I'm going to make fruit with granola. I'm going to use the Way Good milk. I'm going to drink the green tea. For lunches, for dinners, we're going to use GoFoods soups and entrees, and even the bakery items. 25% of the meals that we eat are a GoFoods meal. We save on average $270 every single month on our groceries by using GoFoods. The reason is we feed more people with less food because it's a better balanced diet. We're using the food that we already have in our home, we're using our produce, and we're not wasting food, and we're not going out to eat as much. So we're saving $270 a month. In addition, you can share that message with other people. Couple that with your 90 for Life products, and you can make a tremendous living with the great GoFoods products, because everybody eats. So if you think, well, who could I share GoFoods with? Who could I share Longevity with? And anybody who has a pulse is somebody that you need to share this with. Well, this is ready, and it smells so good. It looks delicious. This is a meal that could rival any restaurant out there. And I hope that you will have the opportunity to make this recipe along with all the other recipes that we have, or just use GoFoods just as it is, because it's perfect all by itself. But take a look at that. When you look at clam chowder and you think about what you see at restaurants, it looks that good, just as good as this. Now, let me have a little taste. That was so good. I wish you could try this. So make this one at home, and be sure that you're using your GoFoods and that you're using your 90 for Life products. And I hope you'll join me again, cooking up cash and with us at Longevity and GoFoods.